Hey friends, today we're talking about why people are moving to Titusville, Florida. From the local lifestyle and the Space Coast feel to what makes this area so unique for home buyers. Whether you're relocating for Blue Origin, Kennedy Space Center, or just looking for river views, rocket launches, and a little more room to breathe, this episode is for you. I am so excited about sitting here today with Darcy Covington from Real Broker, the Coast to Coast home team. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. And Morgan Financial, I just have to say, is 5-star.
We appreciate that. Well, I wouldn't think of anybody else for Titusville. You are a wealth of knowledge in the area, and you come to us with over 20 years of real estate experience. Tell us a little bit about your origin story, how you got into real estate, and what brought you to Brevard County.
Absolutely. So, yes, I've been in the industry for a while now. I'm third generation. I'm so excited to say my grandfather in his retirement did commercial real estate in Atlanta, Georgia. My mom started when I was probably 7 or 8 in Atlanta, Georgia as well. And she was $1 million agent back in the day when that was a really big deal. Mm-hmm. And so I grew up around real estate. So it's kind of in my blood. And I got started in real estate and got my license when I was living in the Jacksonville area. And then, as life would have it, I was transplanted to the Savannah, Georgia area and was so fortunate enough to actually go into business with my mom. At that point, we had the Darcy Lynn team. And that was just a blessing, and did that for about almost 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then my husband being in the aerospace industry, at that time, Gulfstream is the only aerospace up in the Savannah area. And he got recruited away by the Space Coast Mecca here in our Melbourne and Brevard County area. And that's what brought us down.
Yeah. Titusville is known for aerospace. Brevard County, the Space Coast 321, is an homage to the space industry and aerospace industry. So that makes a lot of sense. When people talk about Titusville, or someone asks you about Titusville or what it's really like, how do you describe it?
Wow. That is a big question. You know, every area you can go is a little bit of a paradise and offer something so valuable. And that's the same as in Brevard County. Titusville is such a special place. And a lot of people don't even really know about what makes Titusville special. I think it's coming out now because to me, it is Titusville time right now. And we transplanted there about 8 years ago in 2018. And the first thing that grabbed my heart were the people. They are so welcoming and willing to help. Mm-hmm. And that community has a heart like no other.
Speaking of that, what type of families would you say tend to fall in love with Titusville?
Definitely, we've got such a mix. So we have our retirees that's, known for Florida being a retiree state. However, we also have the young family and the starter homes. And now we have the luxury. So we've got it all. And so we can accommodate. One of my latest sales was a Walmart executive high up the ladder. Mm-hmm. Chose Titusville. Mm-hmm. Where else can you see the Kennedy Space Center? Right there
You're
in your backyard,
yeah. What surprises most people after they spend some time in the area?
I think the thing that surprises them the most is the combination of space and nature. No other place can you see the alligators or the spoonbills or the dolphins, the manatees. Every time you go out to Hanover Canal, you're going to see manatees. I haven't gone out there once and not seen manatees. And then you see a rocket launch going off.
It's its own little ecosystem with a rocket launch in the background. It's pretty incredible. It's like a postcard.
Absolutely. And the bioluminescence is to top it off. Mm-hmm. That's only in very few places in the world.
Mm-hmm. So how does being near Kennedy Space Center shape the feel of Titusville?
Well, Kennedy Space Center has 15,000 employees every day that go in. Titusville, interestingly enough, there's only 3 entrances to Kennedy Space Center. Titusville has 2 of them. So you experience Titusville going in and out of Kennedy Space Center. And hopefully that's a welcoming feeling. I know that's what we want everyone to have. Yeah. And it's absolutely beautiful. But the feel of aerospace is ever present.
So how important are, you had mentioned the ecosystem and all the animals and all the wildlife that's around there. How important are the river, the outdoor activities, the beach, and nature access to the Titusville lifestyle?
Well, that's everything right there. And that's something that I know that everyone there, especially in administrative rules and our city government, take extremely seriously. I believe I spoke with Mayor Andrew Connors, and he was telling me that we are ahead of schedule for our EPA checklists as far as those in the county. And we've got the oyster bed going for the renovation of the Indian River. Preserving that nature is of the utmost importance. And that's what people come to and flock to. I mean, that's what we got the Merritt Island Refuge with our bird watching. We've got trails, myriads of trails going through. We have 3 bike trails alone that can go anywhere in the state. Actually, one, and it's the corridor from the one that starts in Miami or the south tip of Florida all the way up to Maine. So it is extremely important, and you can't miss the nature when you come. It's just there. It's amongst us everywhere. When I drive in my neighborhood, I'll see 3 or 4 deer. Where else do you do that?
It's not very likely in other parts of Florida.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And even in Brevard County, we're very special. I spoke with one woman yesterday, and she grew up in Melbourne, but she moved to Mims, which is just our north sister, to be able to continue her horse farm and her horse life. She wasn't getting that as much in the Melbourne area, so she packed up and moved.
I think for people moving to the area, they think Florida is all one size fits all, but different parts of Brevard County lend to very different lifestyles. If you're coming from out of state and you want more land, if you want more nature, Titusville is definitely a great place to consider.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. And one of the things that I appreciated the most when I moved to the area, because I moved from a bedroom community outside of Savannah, Georgia, called Richmond Hill, and I watched its explosion, not only because of the great schools it offers, but because it has 5 rivers that enter the area. It's a coastal Georgia life, and people began noticing that and all moving there. So now what I notice about Titusville is it is a special hub. It is a hub. It's for that family that wants to raise a family and still be able to go 30 to 45 minutes, you're at Disney. 30 to 45 minutes, you're at the Daytona Speedway. 30 to 45 minutes, you're at Melbourne Mall or whatever. You know, you're just close enough to pop over, and it doesn't take but a second to get all the amenities of a larger city. And then you come home to a quiet pace of life, which is so wanted. It's definitely something that I appreciated as a mother. And I mean, my children were all extremely active in all kinds of music and sports and the arts. And when we moved from this bedroom community of, Savannah, where I could get anywhere in 10 minutes, and originally we were supposed to move to Orlando, I was stressing out, Lindsay. I was so, my kids were in 3 to 5 activities a week. Yeah. And I was like, I'm literally going to have a heart attack. I won't be able to be the super mom and do this.
And still go to work.
Right? So it offers balance. It offers much less of a stress-free environment. And then you get the nature aspect. So it's just incredible. Especially, again, I didn't even touch on Playa Linda. Where else do you find a natural beach? A natural beach without the touristy stuff. I mean, I don't even know where the next nearest one is, to be honest.
I don't either. You had mentioned a little bit about, the sports and the arts. What other arts community or things do they have in Titusville?
Oh my goodness. So one thing about Titusville is the vendors all support each other. And we do definitely love the arts. We have our Titusville Playhouse, which is the plays, and they have big plans and are expanding. We have the Brevard Arts association there, and they are extremely active. And they have their own, they have two little houses right next to each other, and one's for the arts, and they offer all kinds of art classes, and then they have the pottery, and you have all age groups involved with that as well. So anything from theater to the painting to the clay, everything is right there, and they're excellent teachers. Yeah. You know, they love to come and again, have that peaceful, calm lifestyle. So we've got a lot of experts in the area.
I love that. How does Titusville compare lifestyle-wise to other places in Brevard, like Melbourne or Vieira or even Cocoa Beach?
I love that question because, you know, there's a different flavor in each. What I would say about this community is not only do we have such a heart, but we also offer that pace of life and that peace, tranquility of less traffic, of less, more real. Mm-hmm. How can I put that? And I've lived in every lifestyle. My parents lived in London for 10 years, right there near Harrods. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've seen it all. But at the end of the day, it's nice to come home and drive up in your driveway and see 3 deer at night and just, you know, open the screen, you know, open your doors and listen to the water and nature. Yeah. And that
without having all that hustle and bustle of city and cars and all of that going on.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are some of your favorite local go-to spots in Titusville? It can be restaurants, parks, or things that make Titusville feel special.
Great question. So one of the exciting things that's going on with our little growth explosion that we're having is that we have some great restaurants. For instance, cultural restaurants, the Indian Sizzler. Mm-hmm. People will come from South Brevard to go to the Indian Sizzler. It is by far the best Indian food you can have in the county. Mm-hmm. We've also got very scenic places. It was called Shiloh's, but now we have a new restaurant. I'm going to look for its name here because I did write it down. It's going to be opening soon. You can't have a better view of the Kennedy Space Center there. And I'm really excited to see what menu they put together.
One of my personal favorites is Burger Rob's. Have you been to Burger Rob's?
Oh my gosh.
Smash
Best
burgers.
Smash burgers. And I tell you what, there's also the hole in the walls that people may not know about. I'm going to give you one. I'm going to shout them out. P&K, it's like a little market off of Park Street. Best tacos in Titusville. Mm-hmm. Like when you go in, you will definitely see our local police there.
I will take a trip for tacos.
Oh, best ones in Brevard, I swear.
Well, what other things would you say make Titusville feel like home to people that are choosing it? Maybe they're coming from out of state or out of Brevard County. What would you say makes Titusville feel like home?
Well, as far as home, I think you're able to have more family time. Mm-hmm. When you think about it, you're not fighting the traffic. Mm-hmm. You're out in nature areas. We have so many parks. We've got the skate park. We've got the dog park. We've got everything is there, and it might be on a smaller scale, but that's nice. I mean, I grew up in Atlanta. I know a bigger city feel, right? So it's nice to be able to go to Chain of Lakes and kick the soccer ball with your kids and not be fighting traffic to get there and actually have the time to focus on your family.
What would you say about affordability in Titusville? Is there a market for first-time home buyers? Is it a little bit more high-end?
Phenomenal question there. So it serves everybody. And I would say that again about Titusville. It is a diverse population, which is nice too. I wanted my children, even though we were very blessed, you know, economically, and I wanted them to have an appreciation for diversity, for service. That to our family, service is a form of prayer. Mm-hmm. And so that's important that they see real life and learn to help. As far as affordability for the housing market, we are from, you know, first-time home buyers to our luxury market. I mean, you know, the Shores of Tranquility, you know, I mean, that's our luxury market right on the river, all those riverfront properties right there. We've got our luxury condos from Harbor Point, et cetera. So we can handle all the luxury, but we also are very affordable. You get more for your money as far as per square foot and more land. And also depending on where you purchase in Titusville, that's kind of what I do. And my first questions to my buyers is tell me what you're looking for. tell me your top 5 criteria, and then I can hone down and decide, well, which area of Titusville would be a better fit for you.
I love that. More for your money.
More for your money.
Awesome. Well, last question for you today before we wrap up. What is your best advice for someone moving to Titusville tomorrow?
My best advice would be to kind of, again, come up with your criteria, but definitely come and visit to get a feel. You know, the mayor, Andrew Connors, would say that he says Titusville is the best place to live, work, and raise a family. And he believes that we're building something special here for the next generation. And our city hall, they would say that their motto is it's the gateway to nature and space. So the best way to really know if Titusville is the best fit is come give us a visit, and feel free to give me a call too. I can definitely give you the resources of where you might want to stay and great places to stay and eat and really get to know Titusville. But it's really about the people. We have a heart for giving. Recently there was the Children's Advocacy Center of Brevard. There was recently a big fundraiser, and this talks very loudly about the heart of Titusville. When they did an appreciation dinner for the people that raised the funds, 14 out of 20 were from Titusville.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't agree with you more, Darcy. We're going to link your contact information in this podcast below. And I think you're spot on when you said it's Titusville time.
Yay.
So thank you so much for joining us today. If you got something from this podcast, whether you're moving to Titusville, know someone that's moving to Titusville, or before you are moving yourself, definitely like it, share it with somebody that's coming to the area, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you.